If you walk up to somebody and shoot them from a foot away in the head and you're wearing a shirt, you're going to be covered in blood. Your shirt, your pants, your shoes, your face, everything. These guys did not have time to go out to that bridge, shoot these two people, and go back to a party and not change their clothes and shower and clean up. It's so frustrating to me. None of it makes any sense. There wasn't time to do this. There wasn't time to go kidnap Carol and Jack, wrestle them into a car, drive them 20 minutes out of town each way. Best of circumstances, 20 minutes each way. Get them on the bridge, shoot them, dump the bodies, go get cleaned up, go get your case of beer, which isn't refute. Did they pick up beer? Did they not? People testified that they actually did come back with beer. Only Fregamini, who we know we can say was coerced, said that they didn't come back with beer. The police, the bottom line, guys, is I'm going to come out and say it because, you know what, I have to say it. The police were corrupt in this case. That's the bottom line, is that nothing was recorded back then. They knew they could get away with this guy. He was a menace to society. He was a bad dude. And they wanted him so bad, they pinned this murder on him. And then, of course, our Detective Black finds one .38 caliber bullet in a shoebox, which they have multiple pictures of. You know, box is closed, we found it. Another photo showing box is open. Hey, we found it. It looks like it was staged, looks like it was planted. Again, nobody follows any of this up. And in the same article, you know, they talk right here about Pat Fregamini saying, you know, she gave the statement that the boys left to get beer. When they came back, Donald Kelly told her, hey, we got to get to the apartment and remove the bullets. I just killed 2 people. And it even says right here, Fregamini did not appear for the preliminary hearing, and when she did, she denied her statement of the murder. So now they have one of their key people saying that Donald Kelly admitted this, stating again, after the fact, no, I lied. That didn't happen. And then she goes on later to state, okay, no, that was what happened. So again, she was being coerced, it sounds like, by the police. This case would not hold up in today's system. I don't believe it would, guys, because there's accountability, because there are cameras on officers, because all of these things can't be just done under, you know, the cover of darkness and the shadiness of the... So Fregamini was declared an adverse witness, and the Crown was then able to cross-examine her. Only after that did she change her story and tell about the wall and the confession made to her. So we can't believe anything this woman says. Her testimony should have been struck from the record. He did, he didn't, he did. So I guess what I'm saying is substantiated even by the defense attorney's final statements, where he says, he's talking about Pat Fregamini, and he says she was brought in 4 times and examined by detectives who hoped to solve a case. We don't really know what she had to say about Kelly. Right there, right? They didn't record any of these sessions, so they've got this girl in here, and they're telling her, or could be telling her, we need you to say this. You know, this is what happened. You know, 4 times, and she never said what they wanted her to say at first, not until the very end. Coercion, scare tactics, threatening. You know, she was a prostitute, she was a drug user, she was a criminal. Did they make some kind of deal with her? These charges will disappear and you're not going to face any of this? Could be. We don't know any of this because none of it was recorded or is on record. Gladeau's testimony says that Kelly killed the girl and Lavin killed the guy. So that's what the one witness was saying. Fregamini said he had killed the guy and Carol Ann saw it, and so he had to kill her too. So Fregamini was basically saying that Donald Kelly killed them both. And Gladeau was saying that Lavin killed one, Kelly killed one. So their stories didn't match. And when Fragamini continued to lie under oath, she was taken to jail and then to a hotel. Okay, again, so how do we know what they said or did to her under those circumstances, right? And then the lawyer goes on to say, do you recall that she told me at one stage she would have to stick to the statement that she had made? In other words, she's being coerced. She made the statement. It's not true. She's already been taken to prison once for lying under oath, so now she's got to stick to this statement. Oh, it makes me angry. So stupid. And importantly here, this same article goes on to say, Fragamini told different stories about them digging in the wall. She had denied that before. So originally she said no, they weren't digging in the wall taking up bullets, which we've established they did not do. There were 7 bullets still in the wall, right? And then only after the cops got their hands on her 4 times did she change her story to saying that they had dug in the wall and replaced the sheet of plywood and whatever else. And I mentioned in the last video, guys, that these 2 intoxicated losers would not know the difference between a 38 caliber and a 32 caliber after it's been smashed into a wall, and you would just collect the bullets. Well, let's take that a step further, because I should have mentioned it in that video. I'm also thinking, okay, logically, if you're going in there to remove bullets, we already said you would take all of the bullets, but there would just be a hole in the wall. You wouldn't know which gun had shot which hole in the wall. You would have to remove each bullet to see whether, if you could tell the difference, whether it was a 32 or a 38. So this whole removing bullets from the wall argument by the police that, oh, they only took the 38s. Okay, this is what they told the jury. That's how ridiculous it is. No, you would entirely clean the scene. You would take every bullet. You would get every bullet out of there. Right? Because there's no way of telling A, which one came from which gun, and B, there's no way of telling which hole was made by which gun. So to find that out, you would have to remove the bullet first and then examine it, and then what? Say, oh, this one's a 32, we're putting it back. No, it didn't happen. So this morning I got up, guys, I was gonna pack the truck and go do metal detecting at the murder site, and intuition stopped me. It's weird for me to say that, I know, but something was just telling me you're not in the right spot. Now, I'm an amateur sleuth, guys. Problems arise when looking at a case that's 60 years old. Nothing looks the same. I have very little to go on in terms of imagery. But yes, after a little more sleuthing today and looking and seeing, okay, there's definitely a bend in the road where that car is. It's like we're right on a bend in the road. Because you can see, I'll show you guys, I'll draw it on here. The road is going this way. Okay? You can see that and then it curves and comes this way. It's like the bridge is right on a bend. I messed that up. But it doesn't seem to matter, because you know what, guys? In the end, I have to say this. The spirits can contact us from anywhere, and they do. You know, I'm out at the family farm, and they're putting messages on here for Jack and Carol. But again, it bothers me that, you know, Doug and I did our investigation in the wrong place. Did we get answers? Did we get names? And yeah, we got all of that stuff. But I want to be 100% sure of when I'm looking for physical evidence, I'm in the right place. And I'm still, even after looking at the maps today and saying, hey, this makes more sense from a killer's standpoint. You're going to fly out the highway as fast as you can, turn left on Whitfield Station Road, and the first place you come to that has water that we can dump these guys in, we're going to dump them. Well, that's the image that we looked at. It shows a corner right there. I think that's the spot. I'm going to try harder to verify that before we go metal detect. I don't know how. I need to go get my hands on these case files. I need to stop saying that. I need to just go do it. But I have a couple questions that I want to ask the spirits. Why am I so driven to solve this case when everybody is dead and gone? right? You get attached to these people after a year-long investigation and reading about them. And, you know, in this case, they were kind of all bad, but I still have feelings for them. You know, who I feel the worst for was Tracy, the little girl who lost her parents and had to grow up with no parents. But believe it or not, I actually feel bad, just a tiny bit, for Donald Kelly, who I think was framed. Not only framed by the other hooligans in this gang that he hung out with, but by the police, who just wanted the, biggest problematic troublemaker in the community put away so that he couldn't do this anymore. And what they did was wrong, and I believe that they did just build a story and passed it off through coercion, violence, threats, planting of evidence. And, this guy who was bad spent the rest of his life in prison. So I think it's the drive to find the truth is what I'm really driven for here. That and feeling bad for the murder victims and their kids and all the lives of the people that were alive, that it affected them for the rest of their lives. Carol, as soon as I said her name, shiver down my shoulder. Can you confirm that the bridge we looked at today is the right bridge? Okay, slow down, guys, one at a time. I need this to be clear. I'm tired of trying to decipher voices over voices. If you want to work with me, work with me. Come through one at a time. Carol, was that the bridge we looked at today? Do I need to go to the first crossing on Whitfield Station to metal detect? Is the book that Aunt Angie is going to bring me the book you told me to find? Is the tip talked about in that book? Full body shivers. It's like they just jumped on and connected right there. All of a sudden, I'm connected right now. Yeah, full shivers. Okay. Is the tip in that book that Aunt Angie is bringing me? No. Am I going to find any information that is going to be useful to me in that book that I'm not aware of? Fight, Jack. That was the last two words that I heard there. What is it You want to tell me. You keep telling me the same things over and over. Tell me something that's going to move this case forward. I keep getting in my head, since I've sat down here, guys, to ask Patricia Fregamini about her testimony. I think we already did that. In fact, I'm sure we did. But Patricia, are you here? Do you want to tell me something? Did you lie when you gave your testimony? All right, I need to get this book, guys. I need to look at the book. We will talk more when I get my hands on this book.